Hi Chandan, welcome to this
Thank
YouTube channel, and I hope you will
you.
share your experience that will be useful for others. So
Sure.
let's start with first of all, like you can share your experience or your introduction, like what are you doing?
My name is Chandan Gautam, and I have a PhD in plant biotechnology. And currently, I am working as a postdoctoral fellow at the University of Miami in the USA. And I love working on plants.
Okay, that's nice to hear.
Mhm.
So okay, so how about the education in India?
Education in India, I did my preliminary education, that is my high school and senior secondary school from Bihar, where I originally belong from. And then for my bachelor's, I went to VIT University in Vellore, and there I did bachelor's in biotechnology engineering. And after that, I received fellowships to pursue my master's in France, and also for PhD scholarship, TIGP, in Taiwan. But since I was more inclined towards doing research, I chose TIGP fellowship
Okay.
and pursued my PhD from there.
So what motivates you to do research in the plant or in the, what is the motivation behind it?
Okay, so actually the sole motivation is my association with plants, agriculture, land, right from the beginning, because I grew up in the countryside. So it's very common to see plants around. But then you realize when as you grow elder, and you gain some education about how science work, how plants work, then you realize that these people, the farmers in our country, have very little knowledge about the advancements and tools and techniques to enhance their productivity. And that somehow motivated me to learn more about plants, the interesting world of plants, and then help farmers produce better crops.
Okay, so your future plan to help the farmers, right?
Yes, presently also whatever research I am doing is all dedicated to farmers
Okay,
in some way, not directly.
okay. So now, like you mentioned that, okay, you got the scholarship from Taiwan and the France, right? So my
Mhm.
question is, how did you get to know about the TIGP?
Okay, so I never know that these things exist until I went to VIT, and during my final years, I was in touch with seniors, and also there is a semester abroad program run by VIT University where you can pursue a semester abroad. And while interacting with my senior, I came across Alok Prakash. He
Mhm.
was my immediate senior, and he went to Taiwan for TIGP internship. And he told me that the infrastructure is good, the the country is nice in terms of the safety. So that's how I came to know, and I applied randomly. And for other application, I didn't apply much because I had to write GRE. At that time, I was thinking that I have to spend a lot of money in writing GRE exam, so I choose not to do. So one of the advantages of for TIGP was that I was not required to take GRE or English language test.
Okay. So you completed your PhD in TIGP, right? So how was
Yes.
it and how was your experience? How long does it take?
Hmm. So irrespective of where people pursue PhD,
Mhm.
the experience doing PhD is very different, and it's individual dependent, and it's PI dependent how you interact with your supervisor. For
Mhm.
me, I changed 5 different PIs, and I graduated under sixth PI, sixth supervisor. PI means principal investigator here. So I changed a lot of lab because somehow I was not able to, have a nice feeling about the lab. So I just left the lab, or or because of some reason I don't like the research project or the lab ambience. So overall, it was a wonderful journey for me because I didn't only focused on research. I did a lot of things. I hiked a lot. I participated in several marathons. I had nice friends there, so it was wonderful.
Okay, so how long does it take for you?
How long does this take? Yeah, it's also dependent on the situation. For example, I changed 6 different lab in total, including the final PI, and I finished in 2 years and maybe 6 7 months
Okay.
after changing a lab. So if you say like this, then it's 2 years 7 months. But overall, I spent around 6 years.
Okay. But I guess the 5 years is the average there, right? Normally, if we take overall average, maybe 5 years, 6 years, even 7 years.
Yeah, 5 year you can say is an average, and
Mhm.
that's how recently TIGP officials they also were emphasizing that in a meeting with the directors of different departments that
Okay.
you have to make sure that it doesn't become too lengthy.
Mhm. So PhD in Taiwan different from other countries? Like, did you hear from your friend or anyone else? What their views or what your view on it?
So definitely, I can only say based on other views because I only know how PhD system works in Taiwan.
Yes.
But I can say that in general, PhD journey is not an easy journey for anyone. It's like mind drenching. It will isolate you. It will frustrate you because you are working on something which has never been worked upon, and also most of the PIs even in America or even in India or Taiwan, they are not trained to be a good manager. So this management skill is or leadership skill is lacking in most of the PIs. So that's why they have sometimes very poor management, human resource management. So sometimes there is conflict. So I will say that across the world, the PhD system remains the same, but in some countries there are like structures to support students in case he or she is troubled by the PI because PI is kind of up in the hierarchy. But in Asian countries, even in India, this structure is lacking, including Taiwan. It's lacking.